Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel Learn with Yes. Today I'm going to discuss June month current affairs of Vision IAS. So first, quickly starting with the polity section. The first one, actually, this monthly current affairs are consists of both prelims and mains related data. So as of now, actually, I'm discussing only for prelims exam. So I'll just focus only on those topics which are really important for prelims. So first one, new about the new Parliament House. Recently, it was inaugurated and the earlier parliament building was inspired from the Chausat Yogini temple of Morena. Actually, this is also a previous year question, which was asked in 2022 of prelims, and it was designed by architects Sir Edward Lutyens and Herbert Baker. Okay, and this Ek actually the Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat spirit. So this newly constructed Parliament House was based on the belief of under the spirit of Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat spirit. So this Lok Sabha hall is based on the theme of national bird peacock, and the Rajya Sabha hall is based on the theme of the national flower, that is lotus. And they also have this national tree banyan planted on the premises of the parliament, and also the symbolic Sengol, which represents the transfer of the power, was also placed next to the speaker's chair. Actually, we study more about this angle in culture topic in this month only. I'll discuss about that later. And there is also Ashoka pillar placed on the roof of the Parliament House and also hand woven carpets from Badoy, which is known as the Carpet City, and it is present in UP. Okay, and the Ashoka Chakra is made on the gate of the new Parliament House, and wood from Nagpur, and marble from Gujarat, and the stonework of Rajasthan, and bamboo wood flooring from Tripura are used. Next one is Law and Sedition. Recently, 22nd Law Commission, in its 279th report, it said that no, this sedition law should be continued. So usually, this sedition law is facing a huge backlash. So first of all, let us look into what is sedition law. Sedition law is nothing but comprises under Section 124A of the IPC, and it's let us go through the definition. What was mentioned in the 124A? Whoever by words, either spoken or written, or by signs, or by visible representation or otherwise, brings or attempts to bring hatred or contempt or attempts to excite disaffection towards the government. So it's just basically hatred towards the government. They whoever promotes such hatred, they are punished under this law. So this there are different judgments related to this sedition law. So in one of the important is Shreya Singhal case. Shreya Singhal case held that this definition uh, uh, like very broad definition, and very broad offenses can also be considered. So are also included in this definition. So this actually is very unconstitutional and acts as a restriction on the free speech. And other another one important is Kedarnath Singh versus State of the Bihar. So in this case, what the Supreme Court held earlier was the Section 124A is valid, and the state needs such protection also to uh, reduce the hatred content and all those things. Next, why this Law Commission advised for retention of Section 124A? It is to safeguard the unity and integrity of the India, and also it is nothing but a regional restriction under Article 19. So the arguments put forward by the Law Commission. Okay, actually these all are related to mains. So these are not that much important, and let's just know what currently under Section 124A the jail term is up to 3 years or life imprisonment also. And next one is grievance redressal assessment and index. So grievance redressal assessment and index. Recently, the Union Ministry of State for Personal Public Grievances and Pensions launched its grievance redressal assessment and index. So for the year 2022. So this GRAI was conceptualized or designed by the DARPG under the Ministry of Personal Public Grievances and Pensions. And it is nothing but these reports are this GRAI index consists of the reports which are part of the CP grams. CP grams is nothing but centralized public grievance redressal and management system. So this is also important. Like they can ask in the options like CP grams. CP grams initiative is related to which? Okay, it's related to grievance redressal. Next, the objective of this GRAI is to present organization-wise comparative picture and provide valuable insights about the strengths and areas of improvement in grievance redressal mechanism. And it is based on the 12 indicators. And next, there are 89 central ministries and departments were assessed, and they are also ranked based on the comprehensive index. So, who are ranked? This ministries and departments, and according to this GRAI, what it was found is the average disposal time of the central ministries and departments has been improved from 32 days to 27 days. So they are looking into the issues and providing the redressal quickly within 27 days only. That is the average disposal time. So next one is mechanism for grievance redressal. Different mechanisms present are CP grams, Lokpal and state lokayuktas, and some other organizations like RBI having ombudsman. Next, this grievance redressal mechanism was according to the second ARC, according to the second ARC, GRM, grievance redressal mechanism is one of the important mechanism to make the administration citizen centric. To make the administration citizen centric. So we can write these kind of points in ethics paper, which is very useful. In ethics paper, in governance, public governance topic, and we can write this grievance redressal, and we can also mention the Sevuttam model, all those things. And presently, two nodal agencies are handling the public grievances. They are DARPG of Ministry of Personal Public Grievances and Pensions and Directorate of Public Grievances, which is under Cabinet Secretariat. Next one, OTT regulation in India. So recently, the Digital Publisher Content Grievances Council has recommended punitive action on an OTT platform invoking the IT rules 2021. These IT rules, if you remember, these are very recently launched ethics code. Okay, so yeah, what happened? What is OTT? Or first of all, OTT means over the top platforms, and they show TV shows and other media directly through internet bypassing the cable or satellite systems. So with this OTT viewership, the mobile broadcasting is also increasing, and it is creating a big push for content creation also. So Digital Publisher Content Grievances Council. What is it? So it is under the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, and it was set up under the aegis of the IAMAI, Internet and Mobile Association of India, and it is officially recognized as an independent self-regulatory body. Okay, it is to provide grievance redressal and also adheres under the or according or adheres to the rules of IT Rules 2021. What is the current mechanism of OTT regulation in India? Existing laws such as IT Act, Indian Penal Code, and Indecent Representation of Women Prohibition Act 1986 are the laws present for this OTT regulation. So recently, the new IT rules of 2021, like I have said, IT intermediary guidelines and digital media ethics code rules 2021. According to it, first of all, these rules were given by Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, and it is to regulate the OTT and online platforms. According to this, the code of ethics. Okay. It is kind of some code of ethics, and according to this, it is providing that OTT platforms should self-classify the content into five age-based categories like universal and 7 plus, 13 plus, 16 plus, and adult. Like 7 plus means those who are aged above 7 can watch this. Okay, like this, and below 7 cannot watch this. So also parent locks should be provided, and also The three-tiered regulation mechanism present for OTTs are level one is self-regulation by the publishers, like grievance redressal officers should be appointed by the publishers, and second level is self-regulation by the self-regulating bodies of the publishers, and these self-regulatory bodies should consist of should be headed by a retired judge of the Supreme Court or a high court or an independent eminent person, and it should not have more than six members. Okay, so it consists of six, not more than six members, and also headed by a retired judge. The retired judge, be it from Supreme Court or High Court or any from independent person also, or any independent person also. Next, level three is oversight mechanism. Oversight mechanism is like from under the control of the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. Okay, and Digital India Bill is also there is also a proposal to bring this Digital India Bill also. Next, news in shorts. Okay, affirmative action. So recently, what is affirmative action? Affirmative action is nothing but uh, like it is a positive discrimination which is used for the upbringing of the historically disadvantaged groups in terms of education, employment, government schemes, scholarships, and politics. Like we have in India, reservation system. Okay, reservation based on caste, and recently we are also seeing class based, like for example EBC. Okay, this reservation system comes under the affirmative action. Okay, so recently, there is some ruling in the US Supreme Court, and we don't need to look into that much deeper. Yeah, we need to understand what's in India. So this affirmative action goes under the, it is in accordance with the Article 15 Clause 4 and 16 Clause 4, and fixed. And usually, according to the Indra Sani case judgment, the reservation is fixed at 50%. There is a cap, upper cap. Okay, there is a cap which is 50%, only 50, up to 50% of the post can be provided under the reservation. But recently, if you look into the EBC, after the introduction of the EBC, economically backward classes, so after introducing this EBC class, what happened is this 50% cap, whatever it is, it was established by the through the Supreme Court rulings, was breached. Next, governor's power. Tamil Nadu governor rejected government's request to shift portfolios of the ministers. So this always the governor and the state government tussle we can see in different states, and daily news articles also we can see those. So first of all, under Article 164 Clause 1, the CM shall be appointed by the governor and other ministers shall be appointed by the governor on the advice of the chief minister. And the states complying with the actions of the governor amounts to the interference in their administration and is against the concept of the federalism. Okay, next, general consent to CBI. So CBI was established under DSPE Act of 1946. So for CBI to investigate into any case uh, in a particular state, it consists of two types of consents. First of all is general consent, and the other one is case specific. General consent is like uh, general consent is normal given by the states, and it is a seamless. The if any state government gives general consent to CBI, it means they can come over and conduct whatever the investigations they can. So it is very seamless. And next is case specific consent. Case specific consent is like CBI have to apply for each and every investigation to the state government. Okay, so. Uh, so many of the states are withdrawing their general consent because of because they find the interference of the CBI into the different cases in the state is too much. They feel it kind of uh, a imposition, or I mean they feel it kind of a concept, I mean, against the concept of the federalism. Okay, like the central government interfering in the day-to-day business and all those things of the state government. So this is another thing. And next one is there are few exceptions to the general consent. This is also very important. Like if any Supreme Court or High Court can order the CBI to investigate a crime anywhere in the country without consent of the state, they can go. And in some cases, like if they are caught any red-handed, so in those cases the consent doesn't apply for the CBI to investigate. Next one, appointment of the DGP. So DGP, Director General of Police, the state recently the state government of Punjab has passed up Punjab Police Amendment Bill of 2023. Actually, the police subject of the police is under the states list in the seventh schedule of the constitution. And according to this bill, that a state government should form a seven members committee to choose a DGP. Actually, what is the procedure of choosing a DGP? How they are appointed? Okay, uh, many reforms are being made after the Supreme Court's judgment and Prakash Singh versus Union of India in 2006. As per the judgment, a DGP is to be selected by the state government from among the three senior most officers empaneled for promotion to that rank. Okay, and the state sends the names of the eligible officers to the UPSC. First of all, among the three senior most officers, the state has to select one, and I mean those eligible candidates should be their names should be sent to the UPSC. And this here the UPSC, what they do is they appoint a three-member panel, and they pick the candidate for the post. In 2018, Supreme Court order stated that any conflicting rule or legislation counter to the direction for the appointment of the post by the state or central government shall remain in abeyance. Okay? They should not contravene the judgment given by the Supreme Court. Justice clocks. It is an electronic signage systems which have been used across court complexes in high courts. This is nothing but to inform the stakeholders about the court-related key parameters and bring awareness. Next one is Nyaya Vikas Portal. Nyaya Vikas Portal has been created by the Ministry of Law and Justice for the monitoring of the implementation of the centrally sponsored schemes. And about Nyaya Vikas, it is under the Department of Justice. Uh, it provides central assistance for construction of the court halls and residential units for judicial office and judges. Next, Panchayat Development Index. Panchayat Development Index was given by Union Ministry of Panchayat Raj, so it is very easy. And it provides a matrix to monitor and evaluate the progress of the panchayats. Okay, it ranks panchayats on the basis of the scores and categorizes them into four grades: grade A, B, C, and D. So this is with the polity topic, and let's quickly go into the international relations topic. So India and US relations. Recently, our Indian Prime Minister PM Modi visited the US for a 3 day state visit. Okay, the state visit, what the state visit? Okay, state visit usually, uh, till now, this is the third official state visit. Okay, by an Indian PM to US. Okay, the first official state visit happened in 1969 by President Radhakrishnan, and the second official state visit happened in 2009 by PM Manmohan Singh. So India-US relations, like there are few defense ties. Like for example, this US is the largest export destination for Indian goods, and India always maintains this trade surplus. India maintains its trade surplus with the US and defense ties. US recognized India as a major defense partner in 2016, and there are four different defense agreements. Okay, first one is LEMO, COMCASA, and the Industrial Security Agreement, and a BICA. BICA is the most recently signed one. And there are different military bilateral exercises or also have also taken place. They are Yudhabhyas, Vajra Prahar, Malabar, Rimpak, etc. are the different exercises and key outcomes of the visit. So, as our PM Modi visited, there are few outcomes and like agreements and all. First one is MOU conducted, there is an MOU, Memorandum of Undertaking, okay, on semiconductor supply chain and innovation partnership was signed to promote commercial opportunities research, okay. And there is also public private joint task forces co-led by India's Bharat 6G and US Next G alliance, okay. It is for open RAN systems. So there is an alliance between the India's this from India Bharat 6G and from US Next G alliance. It is a public-private agreement and for the deployment of the Open RAN systems. Open RAN system is nothing but a system that allows interoperation between the cellular network equipment provided by different vendors. Quantum tech, quantum under quantum technology, it aims to work towards quantum coordination. Okay, quantum coordination mechanism. Indo-US quantum coordination mechanism was established. It was to achieve the comprehensive quantum information science and technology agreement. And US India Science and Technology Endowment Fund was also launched. So it was launched to commercialize AI and quantum technologies in both the countries. And there is also an innovation handshake, an initiative. Okay, it was started to connect the startups ecosystems of the two countries and which is to support the ICET initiative on critical and emerging technology, and it was set up in 2023. Okay, first of all, these are all the different kinds of agreements and initiatives which were started recently. First one is MOU on, okay, let's just quickly revise through this. MOU on semiconductor supply and about deployment of the Open RAN system and quantum coordination mechanism and US India Science and Technology Endowment Fund for commercialization of the AI and quantum technologies, innovation handshake to connect the startups, which is to implement the ICET, which was signed in January 2023. And next, ICET. ICET is nothing but what it is? Initiative on Critical and Emerging Technology. Initiative on Critical and Emerging Technology, ICET. So, uh, clean energy partnership also, there was also a clean energy partnership in emerging renewable energy technologies like hydrogen, offshore and onshore wind, etc. So, also US Agency for International Development, is going to support our Indian railways to achieve its target to become a net zero carbon emitter by 2030. Isn't it so wonderful? Like our railways is going to become net zero carbon emitter by 2030. If you remember the Panchamrit targets, if you remember the Panchamrit targets, which was law, which was wait, Panchamrit's targets. Under that, one of the target is of India is to become net zero carbon emitter by 2070. That was the target kept by our Indian government. And this railways to become, I mean, their target is by 2030. And there was also a mineral security partnership was signed regarding the critical minerals. And in the US Global Challenge Institutes was established for research partnerships. Okay, and India also US is to open two new consulates in India in Bangalore and Ahmedabad. Okay, and India is to operate its new consulate in Seattle. Next, India-US defense relations. So this there is an agreement between India and US to co-produce the GE-41 F414 jet engine. So it was signed between General Electric and HAL of India. Okay, it is to produce the GF414 jet engines. So this GF414 jet engine is a turbofan engine, and it was used by US Navy for more than 30 years. And so far, 8 nations have got this technology. And there is also another agreement regarding defense. To procure, yeah, India has agreed to procure 31 High altitude, long endurance, unmanned air vehicles. Unmanned air vehicles are nothing but drones. Named General Atomics MQ-9B drones. So there is an agreement regarding this production of the GF414 jet engines, and the other one is to India is to procure MQ-9B drones. So these MQ-9B drones, there are two types of drones: Sky Guardian and the Sea Guardian. So the drone can fly over the horizon via satellite for up to 44 hours in all types of weather, and it can reach a maximum speed of 338 kilometers per hour. Next, India and US also launched Indus X. Indus X is Indus X is to there is it is an initiative. Okay, innovation tech. Okay, it is an initiative. Indus X initiative. According to this, they are aiming to expand the strategic technology partnership between the governments, businesses, and academic institutions. So yeah, with this signing of the GF414 jet engines, India will it will allow HAL Hindustan Aeronautics Limited to manufacture GF414 engines for light LCA light combat aircraft Tejas MK2, and also technology transfer. All those things are also happen. And there is also an establishment of comprehensive global maintenance, repair, and overhaul facility for India, uh, for drones in India. Okay, US is also going to establish this MRO facility in India for drones. Mm, next one is India-US space relations. Okay, India signed the US-led Artemis Accord and became its 27th member. And NASA is going to provide training to our Indian astronauts, mm, with the goal of mounting a joint effort to the International Space Station in 2024. They are going to provide training to our Indian astronauts, and the next India signed Artemis Accord. Okay. So significance of this agreements, like it will act as a push to our Gaganyaan mission. So Gaganyaan mission is nothing but manned space mission. Okay, it is first manned space mission of our India. Okay, and with Artemis. But by signing this Artemis Accord, uh, like it will also have the yeah, India can also get its birth through the accords and active participation. Artemis Accord is for lunar orbital station. Okay, so yeah, Artemis Accord. Artemis Accord. It was established by US in 2020, and the signatories. What is the? There are different types of I mean, different countries signed this Artemis Accord, and there is it is nothing but just some coordinated effort of different countries for in different areas, for example like research, or be it implementation of some laws or some preservation, and also to mitigate the orbital debris, all those things. Next, India-US digital trade relations. Computer and Communication Industry Association of US has highlighted digital trade barriers between India digital trade barriers with India and flagged India as a protectionist approach. Okay, so what this CCIA of US said was there are digital trade barriers in India. So, and in sense, India was acting like a protectionist country. Okay, trade barriers. Like I'm sure you know this trade barriers. They are quantitative barriers. Okay, all those things. Next, current status of the India-US digital trade. Okay, digital trade. Mm. The USA has a $27 billion deficit in trade in digital services with India. Okay, deficit. In US was in deficit, is in deficit trade with India in digital services provided. So also the two countries are trying to improve their digital a I mean their a the two countries are trying to improve their partnership in digital services by launching of different kind of initiatives. Like first one is ICET. They are going to cooperate on critical and emerging technologies, like for example artificial intelligence, quantum computing, semiconductors, wireless telecommunication, and all those things. And also they also, like as we have studied, for the deployment of the open RAN network, they also came to an agreement. And Indo-US quantum coordination mechanism, and India-US Science, Technology, and Endowment Fund, which is of $2 billion for development of the AI and quantum technologies. And So, uh, these are the different kinds of laws present in our country, and different kind of barriers that as this institute, or as this association, sorry, CCIA, flagged that India is having a digital trade barrier. Okay, so these are the different kind of barriers which are present. I mean, mentioned in different laws in our country. Next, India Nepal. India and Nepal have recently unveiled several initiatives and agreements during the visit of the Prime Minister of Nepal to our India. Okay, Prime Minister of Nepal came to our India, and both countries uh, inaugurated twin integrated checkposts at Rupaidiha in India and Nepalganj in Nepal. And there are also various MOUs signed between both the governments. First one is for the development of the Dodra Chandni checkpost along the India-Nepal border. Dodra Chandni, and development of Fukot Karnali hydroelectric project, cross-border payments, and laying second cross-border petroleum pipeline between Siliguri in India and Chapa in Nepal, and extension of the Motihari Amleganj pipeline to Chitwan. Okay, these were the different kinds of MOUs signed between India and Nepal. Okay, you need to remember all these things. Like for example, Dodara Chandni checkpost. Okay, this agreement was signed between which country? India and Nepal. Fukot Karnali, it is a hydraulic project. And they are going to lay a second cross-border petroleum pipeline between Siliguri in India and Chapa in Nepal. Siliguri is in West Bengal. Next, extension of the Motihari and Amleganj pipeline to Chitwan. So they also in these are the different kind of MOUs signed, and in related to the hydropower cooperation, the Lower Arun hydroelectric project. Regarding to this project, also they made an agreement, and handing over of the Kurta Bijalpura rail section of the Jayanagar Kurta passenger rail link to Nepal. These are the different kinds of. Okay, next. Major issues. This is very important actually, regarding especially the hydropower cooperation. India and Nepal recently signed a MOU to develop the West Seti and Seti River projects. Okay, they also agreed to take forward the Saptakosi High Dam project on Kosi River. This West Seti and Seti River and Saptakosi High Dam project. And the West Seti is a tributary of the Karnali River and is in the far western region of the Nepal. And other projects like Mahakali Treaty, Upper Karnali project, and the Arun 3 projects are in the western and the eastern rest of the Nepal respectively. So if this is Nepal, like you can just West City. West City, obviously, it is in the far western region. Mahakali Treaty and Upper Karnali project. This Mahakali Treaty is on the west side, and Upper Karnal project is on the east side of the Nepal. And there is also Swami Vivekananda Center for Indian Culture was established in Kathmandu. Swami Vivekananda Center for Indian Culture was established in Kathmandu. Okay. And India International Center for Buddhist Culture and Heritage was inaugurated in Lumbini, Nepal. These are the projects taken up by our India. And regarding the territorial disputes, like Limpiadra, Kalapani, and Lipulik. Okay, these three are the disputed areas along the India and Nepal border. And there is also a concern raised by the Nepal government, and they also blocked the recruitment of the Nepalese Gurkhas uh, into the Indian army, claiming that this Agnipath scheme violated the 1947 tripartite agreement signed between the two countries and the UK. This tripartite agreement of 1947. Next, China's rising influence in Central Asia. So recently, what the China hosted was this in its province Jiang. Okay, it hosted C plus C5 summit. So what does this C plus C5 summit? C means China, C5 means five Central Asian countries. So what are these five Central Asian countries? Like Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, and Turkmenistan. These five are the Central Asian countries, along with China, hosted a, I mean, conducted a summit C plus C5. So what are the outcomes of this summit? Major outcome is Xi'an Declaration. Xi'an Declaration. It is nothing but a future development of Central Asia and China relations. Kind of a blueprint. Okay, the leaders also focused to renew the cultural Silk Road program, and the first C plus C5 summit was held last year, but it was held virtually, and this is the first time which was held in the city. Okay, it's kind of an offline one. Next, China has been investing heavily in the Central Asia countries through its BRI, and it was also trying to expand its relationship with the SCO, Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Okay, and that's it. Role of India's defense cooperation initiatives in meeting foreign policy goals. Okay, defense cooperation initiatives. India recently gifted its missile INS Kirpan to Vietnam, which is indigenously built. Okay, so the defense cooperations as of now India is having with 53 countries, and there was also a very recent policy, Defense Production and Export Promotion Policy of 2020, which was released by the Ministry of Defense, which targets an increase in an export of aerospace and defense goods and services. This type of defense cooperation is termed as defense diplomacy. Okay. Next, there are also many joint military exercises being held with several countries by India, and also constructive participation in regional and international forums such as RATS, regional anti-terror structures, and yeah, defense spending. One of the few challenges is very low defense spending, that is only 2% of the nation's overall GDP. 70 years of the Universal Declaration of the Human Rights, UDHR. Okay, so it's been 75 years since the Human Rights UDHR was signed. So under this, a year-long Human Rights 75 initiative was started. Okay, just to mark the 75th anniversary of the UDHR. So the theme for 2023 was dignity, freedom, and justice for all. Okay, so about the UDHR. Okay, where is it? Yeah, Universal Declaration of the Human Rights. So it was adopted by the General Assembly in 1948, and it was the first legal document to set out the fundamental human rights to be universally protected, and it is not a legally binding. And 30 rights and freedoms. It consists of the 30 rights and freedoms, and UDHR together with two other covenants make up the International Bill of Rights. So International Bill of Rights comprises of UDHR plus two other covenants. What are the two other covenants? International Covenant of Civil and Political Rights and the International Covenant for Economic, Social and Cultural Rights. Okay, so this 2023 also marked the 30th anniversary of the Vienna Declaration and Program of Action. So this Vienna Declaration and Program of Action was a human rights declaration which was adopted by consensus at the World Conference on Human Rights in 1933 in Vienna. Okay, it paved the path for the establishment of the Office of Human Rights, Human Commissioner for Human Rights. Sorry, Office of High Commissioner for Human Rights. Okay, and mechanism to protect human rights. There are different conventions, like Convention on Prevention of the Punishment of the Crime of Genocide, and Convention on the Rights of the Children, Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, Refugee Convention, R2P principle, responsibility to protect. Okay, actually, recently there are also in UPSC prelims they are also asking these kind of questions. Okay, if you go through this 2022 prelims paper, there was a, I don't exactly remember what's the acronym about what they have asked, but it was some economy related thing. Okay, they can also ask a few kind of things like article. It is related to which responsibility to protect regarding human rights. Next, UNESCO. United States formally rejoined the UNESCO after a 5-year period, and it also proposed to pay its due of more than $600 million. Okay, during Trump's rule, they have exited this. They exited from UNESCO, and now they are formally again rejoining. So, what is this UNESCO? Its headquarters are at France, and it was established in 1945 to establish peace and security. And as of now, it consists of 194 countries and 11 associate members. And you don't be under impression that whichever the country is a member of the United Nations, he is also a member of the UNESCO. Okay, no, this is not the case. See, there are three UNESCO member states which are not UN members, and there are three UN member states which are not UNESCO members. And there is also very clear example like US, which is a UN member, but it exited earlier, right? And now it is formally again rejoined. Next, there are few awards usually given by the UNESCO. The first one is Asia Pacific Awards for Cultural Heritage Conservation Program, and Felix who put Boeing Prize Award something, okay, for promoting peace. And as US left the UNESCO, so there was a reduction in the funding, okay, and now it is trying to reassert its soft power, and also wanted to challenge the Chinese influence. And a membership of the UN carries with it the right to be a membership of the UNESCO. So states that are not a members of UN can be admitted into UNESCO upon recommendation of the executive board by two-thirds majority vote of the general conference, like as I've said here. So here, three UNESCO member states which are not UN members. Okay, executive board. It consists of an executive board and two-third majority. Based on that two-third majority, they are admitted. Next, some of the achievements of the UNESCO. Okay, like preserves 1157 UNESCO, like yeah, UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Okay, next Intangible Heritage Convention and UNESCO's Education for All initiative and media development indicators, and there it also maintained separate list of world heritages which are in danger by the World Heritage Committee. Okay, news in short. India and Egypt. Recently, Indian Prime Minister Modi also visited Egypt. So there they signed this strategic partnership. So both the governments signed three MOUs based on agriculture, archaeology, agriculture, archaeology and antiquities, and competition law. The Indian PM was also conferred with the Order of the Nile Award. So this is also very important, like Order of Nile Award. Okay, Order of Nile Award given by which country? Egypt. Okay, three MOUs on agriculture, competition law, archaeology, and antiquities. PM Modi also visited few heritage places there. One is Heliopolis Commonwealth War Grave Cemetery and Al Hakim Mosque. So, uh, this is also important according to regarding map. Um, Egypt and its borders are Libya, Sudan, and it is having Mediterranean Sea border and Red Sea border. And here we have Suez Canal, and this is Sinai Peninsula, and these are the important things. Order of the Nile Award, okay, given by Egypt to our PM Modi. And this Heliopolis Commonwealth War Grave Cemetery, it commemorates the sacrifices of nearly 4,300 Indian soldiers who fought for Egypt and Palestine during World War. And Al Hakim Mosque. Al Hakim Mosque is the fourth oldest mosque in Egypt, and the people of the Bohra community who are settled in India have renovated this mosque in 1970, and they have been maintaining it. And this Dawoodi Bohra Muslim sect follow this Islam, and the seat of the sect was moved to Singapore. Originated it was at Egypt, but they moved the seat of the sector to Singapore. Next, 75 years of the United Nations peacekeeping. Recently, the 75th anniversary of the beginning of the United Nations peacekeeping was celebrated. So the theme was "Peace begins with me," and there was a medal, this medal, Dag Hammarskjöld medal, given to peacekeepers who died in 2022. It was given posthumously, and it is nothing but to promote peace. Okay. Uh, this Department of Peace Operations, it was created in 1992 under the Department of Peacekeeping Operations, and it has three main officers, namely the Rule of Law and Security Institutions, Office of Military Affairs, and Office of Military Affairs. Okay. India UN SDG Cooperation Framework. Niti Aayog and United Nations have signed a framework, okay, development cooperation framework on SDGs, and it is built on four strategic pillars: people, prosperity, planet, and participation. Four P's: people, prosperity, planet, and participation. And it is this framework was to offer to India a collective a systematic development to achieve SDGs, and it has also been designated as a principal planning and implementation instrument of for UN development system at country level. UNSDCF, United Nations Sustainable Development Cooperative Framework. It is going to implement UN development system at national level in India. International Criminal Court, ICC. ICC was set up under the Rome Statute, and it is also legally binding, and headquarters are at Hague, Netherlands, and it investigates cases regarding to genocide, crimes against humanity, war crimes, and aggression. And so far, 123 countries are parties of this Rome Statute, and India is not a signatory. This is very important of this Rome Statute. Uh, so next one, Universal Postal Union. Regional office of this Universal Postal Union was established in New Delhi, and this Universal Postal Union uh, was set up in 1874, and it was the second oldest international organization, and its headquarters were at Bern, Switzerland, and India is also a member. Okay, it establishes or sets rules for international mail exchanges. Asia Pacific Plant Protection Commission. So, Asia Pacific Plant Protection Commission, for that, India was elected as a chair of Standing Committee on Integrated Pest Management for the 2 years biennium, means for 2 years, 2023 and 2024. So, APPC was convened for the first time in 1956, and it was approved by the Food and Agriculture Organization in 1956, and it administers the Regional Plant Protection Agreement for Asia and Pacific. Regional Plant Protection Agreement for Asia and Pacific. So far, 25 countries are members to it, including India, and this APPC meets once every 2 years. It is objective is to protect plant systems and give some assistance, all those things. Combined maritime forces, UAE, United Arab Emirates, withdrew its participation from combined maritime forces. So this combined maritime forces was headquartered at Bahrain, and it was commanded by US Navy Vice Admiral. Okay, this combined task force, combined maritime forces, CMF, uh, response it conducts counter smuggling, suppressing piracy, and training all those things. Outside Arabian Gulf, inside Arabian Gulf, and Red Sea also. Northern Sea Route. Northern Sea Route. It's also called as Northeast Passage. Connects the eastern and western parts of the Arctic Ocean. So it runs through. See this. Bering Strait here, which is present between Siberia and Alaska, Russia and Alaska, and also here this side we have this Barents Sea. Okay, so this route is called as Northern Sea Route. And instead of going from this long, okay, through Suez Canal and all those areas, this Northern Sea Route offers a shortest route, and it also saves energy and time. And let's go to economy. States capital expenditure. So recently the Department of Expenditure of Ministry of Finance has approved capital investment proposals of 56,000 crores in 16 states under Special Assistance to States for Capital Investment 2023-2024 scheme. So this scheme was launched by the government, like Ministry of Finance in 2020-2021, and according to this scheme, the central government provides 50 years interest-free loans to the state governments, which in a way increases the capital expenditure of the state governments. That therefore it will have the multiplier effect by boosting the economy. So this scheme consists of several parts, like 8 parts. The first part being the largest with the allocation of the 1 lakh crore, and the part 1 was the proportion that the central government gives to the state government as per the 15th Finance Commission. It is 1 lakh crore. And the other parts, let us look into the other parts of the scheme. The second part consists of the incentives for scrapping old vehicles, and third part is for urban planning reforms. Fourth one is for financing reforms in urban local bodies. Fifth one is for housing of police personnel within the police station area. Sixth one is for construction of the unity malls. Seventh one is for the construction of the digital infrastructure and libraries, and eighth one is for the timely implementation and release of the CSS funds by the state governments to the beneficiaries. So this capex, if the central government gives more, more loans, and if it increases the funds to the state government, then the state government increases its spending, and this boosts economy. Okay, the trust also builds among the private sector, and they also increase the investments. So this is called as a multiplier effect of the capital expenditure. So let us look into the debt to GSDP ratio of the different states, the highest being in Punjab, and second in Rajasthan, and third in Haryana. And this under Article 293. Under Article 293, recently the central government what it did was it tightened the borrowing norms for the state governments by including the off-budget liabilities as part of the state's annual net borrowing ceiling. Like off-budget Off-budget liabilities includes those loans which are taken by the state government-owned companies. Even those loans are also included under the state's annual net borrowing. Earlier, they were not included. So, when they were not included, what the state government used to do was it used to uh, it used to take more number of budget liabilities. Urban cooperative banks. Recently, the RBI has notified few measures. So, one of them being the urban cooperative banks are now allowed to open new branches up to 10%, that is maximum 5 branches of the number of branches in the previous financial year without prior approval, that is under automatic route. So these urban cooperative banks, what they can do is they can open new branches of that to up to 10% of those branches, of those number of branches which were uh, wait, let me just give you this a clear picture. So this urban cooperative banks, what they can do is they can establish under automatic approval 10% of number of branches that they have established in previous year. But this 10% should not be more than 5 branches. So maximum 5 branches they can open under automatic route. So this is to rationalize the process of branch opening, and the UCB's urban cooperative banks are also provided different growth opportunities. Next, financially sound and well-managed criteria was also given. So this to avail this facility, first of all, to avail this facility of opening number of branches like this up to maximum of 5 branches under automatic route, the UCBs, urban cooperative banks, should comply with the financially sound and well-managed norms. So this consists of different types of criteria. Let us go through this criteria. Uh, the CRAR shall be at least 1 percentage point below the minimum CRAR, and the NBAs should not be more than 3%, and the net profit for at least 3 out of the preceding 4 years, subject to it not having incurred a net loss in the immediate preceding year, and no default in the maintenance of the CRR or SLR during the preceding financial year, sound internal control system with at least 2 professional directors, and core banking solutions to be fully implemented, and no monetary penalty imposed on account of violation of the RBI guidelines during the last 2 financial years. And there are also regarding the PSL target, priority sector lending, the RBIs have decided to extend the timeline for the UCBs to achieve the priority sector lending targets by 2 years. Earlier it was up to 2024 March, but now they have extended to March 31st, 2026. Urban cooperative banks, there is no formal definition for this. For these banks, usually they comprise of those banks which are located in urban and semi-urban areas, and the government, through a regulation, the government made some changes to the Banking Regulation Act of 1949, and it brought these UCBs under the direct supervision of the RBI. According to it, the RBI has the powers to supersede the RBI has the powers to supersede the board of directors of the urban cooperative banks after the consultations with the concerned state government, and it could issue such directions only to multi-state cooperative banks. Okay. And regarding urban cooperative banks, there is a four-tier structure was also formed, like tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and tier 4. Tier 1 comprises of those UCBs which deal with all deposits less than 100 crore, and their minimum net worth should be 2 crore, and their CRAR should be 9%. Okay. Next, Tier 2 comprises of those UCBs which deal with the deposits in the range of 100 to 1000 crores, and Tier 3 in the range of 1000 to 10,000 crores, Tier 4 more than 10,000 crores. And except Tier 1, all other tiers, Tier 2, Tier 3, and Tier 4 should have a minimum net worth of 5 crores, and their capital risk weighted asset ratio should be 12%. That's it. And the priority sector lending targets, that is 75% of their advances should be should be comprising of the PSL. So this was recently extended to March 31st, 2026 by the RBI. Okay, that's it. And next one is, there are few initiatives taken for overcoming issues of the UCBs. Supervisory Action Framework for expeditious resolution of the UCB's experiencing financial stress, and the scheme for voluntary conversion, like a few UCBs, I mean not all, some eligible UCBs, they can also prefer to convert into small finance banks. Critical minerals. Recently, the Ministry of Mines has released the first ever report on critical report titled Critical Minerals for India. So in that report, it comprises 30 critical minerals. Actually, again, there is also previous year question. Again, I think in 2022 or 2023 in UPSC prelims, it was mentioned that about critical mineral. It was in year 2022. In one question, in one option they asked, they mentioned some mineral name and they asked whether it is a critical mineral or not, something like that. So I hope you guys go through these list of critical minerals too. And these critical minerals include in this. Now let's get to the details of the report. It comprises of the 30 critical minerals, and these critical minerals also include 17 rare earth elements and six platinum group elements. So these 17 rare earth elements, usually these rare earth elements are 17. And why are they called as rare? Because of their economic importance and also having supply risk. Okay, so these rare earth elements are 17, and it consists of 15 lanthanides and scandium and yttrium. Okay, rare earth elements comprises of 15 lanthanides, scandium and yttrium. Next, criticality of minerals is judged by their economic importance and supply risk. Next, uh, that's it with this section. And yeah, we need to go through the initiatives which were taken by the India with respect to the critical minerals. India Australia Critical Minerals Investment Partnership. So, like where in Australia is going to help India to plan lower its emissions from its electricity network by building new supply chains, and Mineral Security Partnership, which is led by USA, and it is to increase the public and private investment in critical mineral supply chains, and Mines and Minerals Development and Regulations Amendment Bill of 2021. It ensures transparency and also it also aims to enhance the domestic and foreign investments, and SCRI, Supply Chain Resilience Initiative, and its members are Japan, Australia, and India. You can this kind of mnemonic is actually very really help. JAI means Japan, Australia, and India are the members of the SCRI. Next, semiconductor industry in India. So the government of India has decided to invite new applications for setting up semiconductor fabs and display fabs in India under the modified Semicon India program. So the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology has launched this program, Semicon India program, in the year 2021, and it was modified now. And what does this modified Semicon India program consist of? This consists of four schemes. First one is for setting up the semiconductor fabs in India, setting up of display fabs, and design linked incentive scheme. Here another important, this under this design linked incentive scheme, They are going to nurture 100 domestic companies. Okay. And next one is modified scheme for setting up of compound semiconductors, silicon photonics, sensor fabs, discrete semiconductor fabs, and semiconductor ATMP OSAT facilities in India. Okay, so these are the different types of four schemes present under the Modified Semicon India program. So this Modified Semicon India program will be in force. I mean, it will be present for 6 years, and the implement and the nodal agency is India Semiconductor Mission, which is under Digital India Corporation of Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. So it is going to implement this scheme. And India semiconductor market, it is increasing at an average rate of 15.1% every year. And India's role in semiconductor scenario globally, uh, like India signed this ICETD, India US Initiative on Critical and Emerging Technologies, Initiative on Critical and Emerging Technologies, and India also launched its semiconductor mission, that is India Semiconductor Mission in 2021, and it also launched PLI scheme for boosting the semiconductor industry. And India also has become a major beneficiary of Taiwan's new southbound policy. So Taiwan is a world leader. Taiwan is a world leader in the manufacturing of the microchips. So India has become the major beneficiary of this. And this Chip for Alliance. Chip for Alliance was launched by the USA. Okay. Uh, Significance of the semiconductor industry. They are used in electronic system and design manufacturing, and they form part of the critical information infrastructure of the country. And semiconductors can be pure elements or compounds. Pure elements are those elements which can be used directly as semiconductors, and compounds consist of the mix of different chemicals. Like for example, here gallium arsenide, gallium and arsenic. Okay, in different compound. I mean different mixtures. Next, mission on advanced and high impact research, Mahir. So here you can see high impact research. So it is something related to research. So recently the Ministry of Power and Ministry of New and Renewable Energy have launched this Mahir initiative. So under this Mahir initiative, they have identified 8 areas. First one is to regarding green hydrogen, and second one is to uh, come up with the new cooking methods in India, and like for example pans or electric cookers, and also alternatives to lithium ion storage batteries, geothermal energy, solid state refrigeration, and nanotechnology for EV batteries, and cold rolled grain oriented technologies, and carbon capture. So based under, I mean, these are the 8 areas on which the research need to be improved. So for that they have launched this Mahir. Again, which ministries launched this? Ministry of Power and Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. So the funding of this program was by Ministry of Power and Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, and also by different CPSCs. And the approach of this mission is from idea to product, and the duration of this mission is 5 years. And the structure of the mission, it consists of the technical scoping committee, which is chaired by the Central Electricity Authority. It recommends the technologies and the projects, whereas it also consists of the apex committee chaired by the Union Ministry of Power and New and Renewable Energy. So this committee approves. So this committee just recommends, and what this committee do? It will approve the proposals, and that's it. Recently, what are the initiatives launched by the India in power sector? Financial incentives are given to the states for the reforms in power sector. For example, the additional borrowing ranging was increased from 0.25 to 0.5% of the state GSDP annually. And the initiative was announced in the Union Budget 2021-2022 for a 4 year period. For a 4 year period, the finance was also increased from like doubled. and mandatory reforms for fulfilling the eligibility by the states. Like as they have doubled, it won't be that easy, right? They have put some I mean, they have put some eligibility criteria, like mandatory reforms. What are those? Like transparency in reporting and the progressive assumption of the responsibility for the losses of the public sector discoms by the state government, timely audit, and the compliance with the legal and regulatory requirements. And next, market coupling. Market. So these are what are these? These are the initiatives launched in power sector. First one is increased of finance, and second one is market coupling. Market coupling means as of now in India there are three power exchanges. First one is IEX, India Exchange, India Energy Exchange Limited, and Power Exchange India Limited, and HPX. So these three are the different types of the power exchanges present in India. So what this market coupling means, they are going to under this market coupling, they are going to form a single power trading entity which is owned by the government, and they are going to have the uniform prices across different exchanges. So that is to implement or is in line with the one nation, one grid, one frequency, one price framework. Okay, guidelines for resource adequacy planning framework. The Union Ministry, in consultation with the Central Electricity Authority, formulate which has been framed under Rule 16 of the Electricity Amendment Rules of 2022, few guidelines were issued. Like the DISCOMs has statutory obligation to ensure procurement of sufficient capacity to meet the demand in their area. Okay, under this Electricity Amendment Rules, so, what are the guidelines given by the Union Ministry of Power in consultation with the Central Electricity Authority that DISCOMs are having a statutory obligation to ensure the procurement of sufficient capacity. Next, Electricity Rights of the Consumers Amendment Rules 2023. So, this central government recently amended these rules of 2020 in 2023, and these rules seek to establish or to ensure that new electricity connections, refunds, and other services are given in time-bound manner, and willful disregard to consumer rights results in levying of penalties on service providers and payment of compensation to consumers. Ministry of Power has now introduced electricity rights to consumer amendment rules 2023 to bring few changes. What are the changes? So it's nothing but these rules are these rules earlier were given in 2020. Now they have amended these rules. Under these amended rules, they are going to give the connections and all the services in time-bound manner, and they are also going to levy the penalties if consumer rights are not protected. And they have also included few changes like introduction of the time of day tariff. Time of day tariff means different charges, they are going to charge differently in different times. For example, during solar hours, power tariff is going to be 20% less, whereas during peak hours it is it is going to be 10 to 20% higher. Okay. Next, they also made an amendment in the smart metering provision, like no penal charges will be imposed on a consumer based on the maximum demand. Next, National Electricity Plan. National Electricity Plan was given by Central Electricity Authority regarding the past 5 years. So usually this plan includes a review of the last 5 years, and it also a review of the last 5 years and what is going to be the plan for the next 5 years. So these details are comprise the National Electricity Plan. It is given by the Central Electricity Authority under this Electricity Act 2003. Okay, this plan is given for every 5 years. Okay, according to this plan, the data is there is a demand increase in I mean, there is an electricity demand increase of around 4.1% in the last decade. Okay, and there is also a declining trend of carbon emission from coal-based stations, and also the contribution of the renewable energies has been increasing from 35% in 2026 it is expected to increase, sorry. It is expected to increase to 35% in 2026-27 and 44% in 2031. As of now, what is the share of the renewable energy? 39%. Expect Expected to increase more 35%. Okay, and yeah, let's look at these pie charts. Uh, All India installed capacity. Okay, the coal comprises maximum, that is 51%, and next is renewable energy sources, and the next is gas, and lignite and nuclear both are equal. And while we look into renewable energy installed capacity alone, the highest being the solar, and next being the large hydro, and the next being wind, and the next is biomass, and then small hydro. So this is the order: solar, large hydro, wind, biomass, and small hydro. Okay, and BEE, Bureau of Energy Efficiency, has announced a national carbon market called India Carbon Market. So these are the different initiatives taken for the growth of power sector, like State Energy Efficiency Index for universal electrification, Deen Dayal Upadhyaya Gram Jyoti Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Sahaj Bijli Har Ghar Yojana, Unnat Jyoti by affordable LEDs for all. Okay, PAT, all these things. Next, production linked incentive scheme. So the government has decided to not to launch the PLI scheme for the new sectors. Okay. So as of now, there are 15 sectors under PLI scheme. Medical devices, auto and auto components, mobile and electronic components, farm and trucks, food products, textiles, electronics and hardware, solar photovoltaic modules, specialty steel, white goods, pharma, API and KSM. API means product intermediaries. Okay. Next, telecom and networking, ACC batteries, drones, drone components. These are the 15 sectors. Okay, for which PLI is in implementation. So major objectives of the PLI is to boost manufacturing and also increase in investments, also make India Atmanirbhar. Okay, that's it. And next one is fertilizer sector in India. So the Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs has approved a unique package of innovative schemes for farmers with a total outlay of 3.70 lakh crores. So fertilizer sector, coming to fertilizer sector, India stands as the second largest fertilizer consuming country and the third largest producer, and also world's largest importer of fertilizer materials. So this uh, Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs launched this unique package with an outlay of 3.7 lakh crores, and this consists of different schemes. What are the schemes? First one is PM Pranam. PM Pranam is to incentivize the states to promote alternate fertilizers and also balanced use of chemical fertilizers, and also market development assistance for promoting organic fertilizers. For example, Govardhan scheme was launched in 2018 under the Swachh Bharat Gramin Mission. Here, another question. I think you might have heard about Swachh Bharat Mission, Gramin and Urban. Do you know which ministries look after these different levels? Okay. For Gramin, it is under Ministry of Jal Shakti, not Rural Development. Whereas for Urban, it is Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Okay. That is just an add-on point. And introduction of the sulfur-coated urea, that is also called as urea gold, to address the sulfur deficiency. And urea subsidy scheme, it is a central sector scheme. Important. Central sector scheme means the entire funding will be given by center, and it has been extended for another 3 years till March 2025. Okay, and some initiatives for efficient use of fertilizers are One Nation, One Fertilizer scheme, uh, under fertilizer subsidy scheme named Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Janurvarak Pariyojana to ensure timely supply of fertilizers, and nano urea liquid plants are going to be established. Fertilizer flying squads, to stop the diversion and also check the black marketing. A nutrient-based subsidy scheme. Nutrient-based subsidy scheme. Under this, subsidy is given based on the nutrients, namely nitrogen, phosphate, potash, sulfur. So 22 fertilizers are given, nutrient-based subsidy scheme, except urea. Okay, because urea is mostly used. So if you subsidize urea, the urea usage will increase furthermore, and whereas other fertilizers won't be used much, because uh, urea consists of different chemicals, and there will be a skewed utilization of the fertilizers that need to be addressed. So that's why, except urea, other fertilizers are given subsidy under nutrient-based subsidy scheme. So fertilizer industry is also one of the 8 core industries, and see, urea accounts for nearly two-thirds of the overall fertilizer consumption, and the requirement of the potash is met through imports in India. This is important. Next, fertilizers are classified into three: primary, secondary, and micronutrients. Primary consists of NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, and K means kalium, that is potassium. And secondary fertilizers comprises of the CMS, calcium, magnesium, and sulfur. Whereas micronutrients include others like iron, zinc, boron, chloride. Okay. See, like I was saying, the ideal usage of the NPK should be in the ratio of 4 is to 2 is to 1. But that ratio got distorted to 12.8 is to 5 is 5.1 is to 1. Means in nitrogen usage is more. Okay. Regulation of the startup ecosystem. So recently the expert panels have pointed the self-regulation is essential for startup environment. So there is not much anything information in this, but yeah, we need to know what the status of the startups in India. Like India is the third largest startup ecosystem in the world, and having 100 plus unicorns which are recognized by the DPIIT, and for tech startups it is the second largest ecosystem, and around 40% of the startups are in tier 2 and tier 3 cities. Okay, some initiatives taken by the government for startups are Startup India scheme, Stand Up India scheme, and do you know what Stand Up India scheme is? To promote entrepreneurship among vulnerables, vulnerable sections. Okay, includes women, SC, ST. Okay, next, Startup India seed fund schemes and fund of fund scheme and government e-marketplace and providing global market access and IPR protection. So this startup has been defined by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs under the Companies Act, and recognition as a startup is given by the DPIIT, and with this recognition the startup can get exemptions of taxes for 3 years. And SEBI notifies the rules for a listing of some startups, and the RBI has created some helpline and also gives some guidance to startups. Next, Investor Services Fund and Investor Protection Fund. These Investor Services Fund and Protection Fund are the initiatives, I mean, brought by the SEBI based on the Supreme Court judgment. Okay, earlier the Supreme Court said to um, look into this investor protection schemes. Okay, so in line with that, the Supreme Court suggested to increase and strengthen the Indian investor awareness. So in line with that, the SEBI has launched these two funds, sorry, Investor Services Fund and Investor Protection Fund. So what is this Investor Protection Fund and Investor Services Fund? Investor Services Fund. Investor Services Fund is nothing but under this they provide first of all fund. Fund means it consists of some money, right? So where do this money come from? It is coming from like at least 20% of the listing fee received by the SEBI should be deposited in the ISF, and it consists of a regulatory oversight committee, uh, and it is supervised by the regulatory oversight committee. Okay, this regulatory oversight committee is one of the seven committees of the market infrastructure institutions. Okay, and at least 50% of the corpus, I mean, at least 50% of the fund should be spent in tier 2 and tier 3 cities. And if there is any unutilized fund of both ISF and IPF, then it should be sent to IPEF, Investor Protection and Education Fund, which was set up by the SEBI in 2005 for investor education and awareness. This is Investor Services Fund, right? Now let us look into the Investor Protection Fund. Investor Protection Fund is to protect the interest of the investors, that is participants, be it stockbrokers or the investors or common public like us. Okay, investor protection fund is to be established and it is to be administered by separate trusts. Like five trustees are there, three public interest directors and one representative from the SEBI and chief regulatory officer or compliance officer, and the maximum tenure of any trustee is 5 years, which is to be specified by the SEBI. Okay, that's it. Next, middle class economy, middle class in Indian economy. So experts are saying that the country's economic ambition is large, expanding, and increasingly prosperous. Uh, okay, for the country to grow, okay, they are saying that a genuine, large, expanding, increasingly prosperous, genuine middle class is needed for the country's growth. So middle class in India, who are middle class? Those are between working class and upper classes. Okay, 30% of the Indian population is middle class, which is estimated to grow to 61%, and middle class holds nearly quarter of the country's wealth. And the significance of the 1991 for the middle class. After the LPG reforms, the middle class size has expanded substantially. And why is it important anyway? Middle class, why is it important? Because they comprise of nearly 70% of the consumption demand from in our economy, and they also contribute 79% of the total taxpayer base and the savings and the human capital. Railway safety in India. After the Balasore accident in Odisha, so there is so this issues in railway safety came to limelight. So issues in railway safety. Okay. Uh, Okay, so the funding, limited expenditure on safety. The funding, very less funding, and it is also the spending of the funds is also very less, and the deterioration of the operating ratio. Operating ratio means here it is said that the railways operating ratio is 107.4%. That means to earn 100 rupees, the railway is spending 107.4 rupees. It is clearly saying that it is a loss to the railways, right? So yeah, that is the situation for Indian Railways. And infrastructure related also, nearly 69% of the railway accidents have occurred over a four period just because of the derailments. Okay, lack of modernization. And Indian Railways is the fourth largest railway network in terms of the length, and it's also second largest network operated under a single management. And Commission of Railway Safety, CRS. Commission of Railway Safety, it is under the Ministry of Civilization. Why a railway related safety body is kept under the Ministry of Civil Aviation? Because to prevent any conflicts of interest. So what does this body do actually? Commission of Railway Safety look into the matters of safety related to the rail, and it also investigates any serious train accidents, and it has statutory functions under the Railways Act of the 1989. Okay, next. Some of the steps taken by the Indian government for the railway safety. The Rashtriya Rail Sanrakshak Kosh. Rashtriya Rail Sanrakshak Kosh. It is nothing but a dedicated fund which was created in 2017. It is expected to operate for 5 years only, but it is now extended for another 5 years. It is just to clear the backlog of any funds related to the implementation of the critical safety and of railway works, and introduction of the covered system. This covered system is very important because it is an indigenous anti train collisions technology, like train collision avoidance system. Okay, it is indigenously developed by RDSO in collaboration with the Indian industry. Okay, it operates through radio frequency identification tags, RFID tags, and the probability of the coverage, the error probability of error in a coverage is 1 in 10,000 years. Next, road safety. The NHAI has issued guidelines for rectification of the accident prone spots. Accidents prone spots are also called as black spots. Black spots are nothing but a road of 500 meters stretch on a national highway, where either 5 road accidents with fatalities fatalities or grievous injuries occurred in the past 3 years, or where 10 fatalities in total in the past 3 years. Okay, if it is fatalities in 3 years, 10. Okay, so the NHI project directors can undertake rectification. So these black spot, whatever it is, also called as accident prone spots, need to be rectified. For that, for each spot, 10 lakh is being given by the NHI. Mm, that's it. There are few initiatives. We need to look into that. Initiatives taken to enhance road safety. National Road Safety Policy of 2020 outlines the policy initiatives to be formed by the government at all levels. Motor Vehicles Amendment Act of 2019 provides for a grant of licenses and permit related to motor vehicle standards for motor vehicles and penalties. Safety standards for automobiles, like for example, in respect of the airbags, anti-braking systems, crash test, etc. And IRED, Integrated Road Accident Database. Integrated Road Accident Database is to capture the relevant details about the accident-prone areas throughout India, and Brasilia Declaration on Road Safety 2015 is to reduce the deaths due to road accidents to half by 2020. And National Highway Accident Relief Service Scheme, NHARSS, is to award, the scheme is to award a Good Samaritan. Okay, Surakshit Safar Initiative. That's it. And news in shorts. Developing country status. Developing country status is the China is having developing country status. So US is against this status. Okay. So why China is sticking to this developing country status only? Because a country which is having this developing country status can have some benefits. Like for example, in WTO, uh, yeah, they can receive free, preferential treatment. So this does this developing country status or developed country status, whatever it is, does any body give the status, or are they free to announce themselves? The countries are free to announce themselves. Okay, there is no formal definition or nobody gives this kind of status. The country on its own announces such status. Next. Global Livability Index 2023. Global Livability Index is given by Economist Intelligence Unit. Under this index, India is ranked 173 cities of India. Sorry, 173 cities based on their livability conditions on 5 factors: stability, healthcare, culture and environment, education, and infrastructure. Excuse me. And the most weightage is given to culture and environment and stability. Key findings. Vienna of Austria has been named as the best city to live. And from India, New Delhi and Mumbai are at 141st position. Okay, UNDP and DAY NULM participate. DAY NULM means Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana, National Urban Livelihood Mission. So UNDP partnered with DAY for empowering women in entrepreneurship. So this is a 3-year project to be implemented in 8 cities in initial phase, and it is aimed to establish or aim to increase the entrepreneurship among women, and Bizsakis are nothing but the mentors provided uh, for the entrepreneurs, upcoming entrepreneurs in different locations. This Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana, National Urban Livelihoods Mission, was launched in 2014, and it is a centrally sponsored scheme under Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Fair and remunerative price. This fair and remunerative price was is related to sugarcane. Okay, it is regarding. Okay, there is this thing. I need you to understand carefully. So, excuse me. So, sugarcane, FRP, fair and remunerative price and state administered price. It is given by the central government, it is given by the state government. So usually what they do is the state governments announce high SAP. Okay, it is these are nothing but the MSP. How MSP is for other crops, this is for sugarcane. For sugarcane, these are the types of MSPs, like you can understand in that way. Okay, so how let us look into how this FRP is being announced. Okay, similar manner how MSP is being announced, like CACP, Commission for Agriculture and Agricultural Costs and Prices. It recommends to the CCEA, Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs, and then this Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs decides and approves the FRP. Okay, and it is determined under the Sugar Control Order of 1966. Framework for compromise settlements and technical write-offs. So recently the RBI introduced a framework for compromise settlements and technical write-offs. Compromise settlements means nothing but some negotiations. Okay, negotiations. And what are these write-offs? Write-offs are nothing but if there are NPAs, any NPAs in any bank, so they will be removed from the books. Okay, so for that the regulated entities are given some guidelines. So what are these regulated entities? Commercial banks, primary cooperative banks, all those. And these regulated entities are free to stipulate higher cooling off periods and reporting mechanism at least on a quarterly basis, and cooling off period in exposure of farm credit shall be subject to 12 months. Okay, next, undertake compromise settlements or technical write-offs regarding accounts categorized as willful defaulters or fraud without prejudice to criminal proceedings against such debtors. Okay, next one is Financial Stability Report. Financial Stability Report is a biannual report which is released by the RBI, and it is in line with the Global Financial Stability Report which is released by the IMF. So it just looks at the financial health, financial stability, and financial sector health in our country. And the net non-performing assets ratio is declined to 1%. So this is a good thing. And gross non-performing assets fell to a 10-year low of 3.9%. That is also a good thing. And capital to risk weighted assets ratio rose to historical high. I mean, they are all here saying is that Indian market is on an uptick, and it is also adhering to different rules and guidelines. Here there is one term called as stable coins. What are these stable coins? Stable coins are nothing but a cryptocurrencies whose value is pegged to that of another currency, commodity, or financial instrument. And the average time for concluding these insolvency resolution processes uh, was 512 days. Okay, according to IBC, it is 330 days, but it is exceeding the stipulated time of 330 days. That is one negative issue. Next, Global Economic Prospects Report. Global Economic Prospects Report is released by the World Bank, and it is issued twice a year. Twice a year means it is biannual report, twice a year. Okay. According to this report, the Indian government is growing at 6.3% compared to the previous estimate of 6.6%. Next, Financial Services Institution Bureau. Financial Services Institution Bureau is to replace the Bank Boards Bureau. So this FSIB is set up under the Department of Finance Services, Ministry of Finance, and it replaced the Bank Boards Bureau. It consists of a chairperson, who is nominated by the central government, and it consists of the ex officio members, like which include secretary in charge of the Department of Financial Services, Department of Public Enterprises, chairperson of IRDAI, and deputy governor of the RBI. So these are very important because again I'm gonna quote another previous year question, but this was way much before. I think in the year of 2019 or something, there was a question like who appoints the heads of public sector banks? Heads of public sector banks. Okay. In the option, it was mentioned as Banks Board Bureau. The answer is Bank Board Bureau. So now this Bank Board Bureau is being replaced by this Financial Services Institution Bureau. Okay. So another thing. This FSIB also consists of several part-time members. Okay, functions of the FSIB is to recommend the whole-time directors and non-executive chairpersons, and also advise on certain matters related to personal management to these institutions. Greedflation. Greedflation is nothing but greed and inflation. Means inflation which is driven by greed, like corporate greed. Okay, the companies, if they want more profits, what they do is they increase the prices. Okay, that with increase in prices, rise in inflation. Okay, this is called as greedflation. Next, Antardrishti. Antardrishti is a dashboard, financial inclusion dashboard, which is launched by the RBI governor. So as of now, it is just intended for the internal use only. It is just to gauge the different levels of the financial inclusion and exclusion happening in our country. Okay, with different respective parameters. Next, gift tax. Gift tax is anything which is can be given in the form of money or movable or immovable property to an individual without making any payment is gift. Okay, the CBDT has exempted buyers from gift tax when they acquire entity shares in public sector units through strategic disinvestment. If someone, okay, if someone, like for example, okay, if I purchase strategic disinvestment, first of all, you need to know what is strategic disinvestment. Strategic disinvestment means uh, if the investor takes is having a holding of at least 51%. So strategic disinvestment means selling of 51% or more is strategic disinvestment. If a company, like for example, public sector unit sells, is going through strategic disinvestment, that means it sells more than 51%, right? If it sells and if I purchase, okay, if I purchase and if I give to someone else, okay, some person X, okay, then I am exempted from gift tax by CBDT. That's it. Central Board of Direct Taxes. From this, you can just imply one thing: gift taxes, direct tax. Global Competitiveness Index. Global Competitiveness Index is given by the IMD, Institute for Management Development. So, according to this index, India ranked 40 out of 64 countries, and the top countries being the Denmark, Ireland, and Switzerland. And Global Competitiveness Report is given by World Economic Forum. So don't get confused here. Global Competitiveness Index means IMD. If it is index, it means IMD, and if it is a report, then it is World Economic Forum. Next, National Agriculture Market, ENAM. ENAM is set to cross 1 trillion rupees trade in financial year 24. Launched in 2016, ENAM is a pan-India electronic trading portal that networks the existing agricultural produce market committees, APMCs, and it is completely funded by the central government and is implemented by the Small Farmers Agri-Business Consortium. central government, small farmers, agribusiness consortium. Okay, so other features are ENWR, electronic negotiable warehouse receipts. Right? Means the if warehouses, if I store some amount of farm produce, okay, then I will be given some e-negotiable warehouse receipts. Okay, with these receipts, I can use these as a collateral to get loans from banks. Okay, okay. Platforms was introduced to sell the produce outside the state borders, and Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi (PM Kisan Scheme). PM Kisan Scheme recently Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare launched a PM Kisan mobile app with face authentication feature. Earlier, this face authentication feature was similarly introduced by Ministry of Civil Aviation in Digi app. Okay, so that's it. And this is the first scheme of the government to do e-KYC through facial authentication. Okay, e-KYC through facial authentication. How do they do it? Through like facial authentication process includes based on a facial features like distance between eyes, shape of cheekbones, etc. Okay, biometric features. So PM Kisan scheme was launched in the year 2019, and it is a central sector scheme. That means 100% funding by the central government, and it is a world's largest direct benefits transfer schemes. And it gives under this 6,000 is given by the central government. The farmers for every 4 months, that is in three installments, 2,000 per installment. Next, government withdraws draft livestock bill. Livestock products bill 2023 was introduced by the government, and some animal activists have raised some concerns regarding this bill. Okay, so livestock, this recent bill is going to replace this Livestock Importation Act of 1898. Under this, the central government has the right to regulate, restrict, and prohibit the import of any livestock which may be liable to be infected. Okay, need to replace the 1898 Act. So this 1898 Act has, I mean, it regulates only imports but not exports. Okay, and the definition of the livestock is also very limited. And also to curb the zoonotic diseases, the government also need to look at the exports other than imports. Electronics repair services outsourcing. Electronics repair services outsourcing. Recently, the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology has launched this pilot project ERS. According to this, the ministry is aiming to make India as a repair capital of the world. That means to get all the repair components which are need to be repaired from other countries. I mean, outsource. They are telling the other countries to outsource those components to our India, because in India we are having this affordable and skilled workforce. So thereby we can take this advantage of becoming a repairing hub in the world. Okay, next, this contributes in a way to the circular economy of a country. Okay, next, the strategic reserves of the crude oil. So Rajasthan is being considered as a potential site for the strategic reserves of the crude oil in salt caverns. So this salt caverns based, rock cavern based reserves. There are two types of reserves. First is salt cavern based, and second one is rock cavern based. So salt cavern based means, so see, in underground, the salt caverns are present, right? So by sending water, they'll dissolve this salt, and then they'll deposit the crude oil. Okay, see, if this is salt, they'll send this water, and they'll dissolve the salt and they'll pump the water. Okay, and this area is this part, whatever it is emptied. Okay, now it is uh, used for strategic reserves for storing. Okay, uh, rock caverns means nothing but stored in the rock. Okay, it is this salt cavern based reserves are comparatively simpler, faster, and less cost intensive. And these strategic petroleum reserves are managed by Indian Strategic Petroleum Reserve Limited, which is a special purpose vehicle under the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas. This special purpose vehicle means it is some body or institution which is created just only to implement for some particular scheme or initiative, and after the implementation of it, then it will be scrapped or it will be removed. Okay, so as of now, the strategic petroleum reserves in India are 5.33 million metric tons of crude oil, which can meet around 9.5 days of the country's oil demand. But according to the recommendations of the International Energy Agency, a country should have a stockpile of crude oil which meets nearly 90 days of its domestic demand. But we are having just only for 9.5 days, right? So very less. And as of now, there are three strategic petroleum reserves. One is at Mangalore, which is 1.5 million metric tons, and at Padur, 2.5 million metric tons, and in Visakhapatnam, 1.3 million metric tons. And there is also proposal to add few strategic crude reserves like at Chandikol, 4 million metric tons, and at Padur, 2.5 million metric tons. So as of now, we are having only in Mangalore, Padur, and Visakhapatnam. Okay. Next, exploration of coal and lignite scheme. Exploration of the coal and lignite scheme. Recently, the central government has approved the continuation of the central sector scheme for exploration of the coal and lignite scheme from 2021 to 2025. Under this, there are two stages. The exploration is carried out in two stages. First one is promotional regional exploration and detailed exploration in non-coal India. Non-coal India limited blocks means those which are not operated by Coal India are being explored. Okay, it gives an estimate of the resources available in India. Steel industry. Currently, India ranks the world's second largest producer of the crude steel. This is important again. Second largest producer of the crude steel. Okay, China remains a global leader in crude steel production. First is China, and second is India in production. And if you remember earlier, while we were studying or while we were reading about the PLI scheme, production linked incentive, have you noticed that this term called specialty steel? Okay, so steel production is also under PLI scheme. So steel scrap recycling policy was introduced by the government, and national steel policy was introduced in 2017 to achieve a target of steel capacity of 300 million metric tons and total crude steel demand of production of 255. Okay, specialty steel. Yeah, this was about this I was mentioning. And about iron ore. Iron ore consists of hematite, magnetite, limonite, and siderite. Okay, India is the seventh largest exporter of iron ore, and low grade ores comprise nearly 92% of the India's total iron ore export. If you have any idea of different types of grades of iron ore, like yeah, I was saying hematite, magnetite, limonite, and siderite. Of this, in India, 92% are low grade. Okay, that's why we import more. Next, petroleum coke, pet coke. Pet coke recently, the DGFT, Directorate General for Foreign Trade, permitted its import as a raw material for lithium-ion batteries. If it is permitting recently, then till now, was it banned or what for importing? Yes. Actually, the government banned import of pet coke for use of fuel, but it allowed for cement, lime kiln, calcium carbide, and gasification industries. Okay, for usage of fuel, it was banned. Okay, why the pet coke need? Why is the what is the importance of the pet coke? It is having the sulfur content of less than 0.8%, which is used for making graphite anode material for lithium-ion batteries. Okay, and India is also world's largest consumer of the pet coke. Okay, and India imports nearly half of its annual pet coke consumption, mainly from the USA. So it mainly depends on USA. And this pet coke is a carbon-rich And there are different grades of petroleum petcoke like green coke, calcined coke. Okay, and it can be used as a feedstock or a fuel, but as a usage of fuel, just I mean importing just for using it as a fuel, it was banned in India. Okay, what are the issues is like it releases some toxic gases and it contains some heavy metal content. But the benefits are high calorific value, hydrophobic coal, hydrophobic and hydrophilic. Okay, hydrophobic means water repellent, water repelling, whereas hydrophilic means water loving. If you remember NCRTs, in that there is this example very well noted that about this lotus leaf. Okay, it is hydrophobic because if you if I mean if this is a lotus leaf, okay, sorry, if this is the lotus leaf, if you place any some water drops, they will just drip away. Okay, they won't stay there. It is a low volatile matter and it also consists of low ash content. National Energy Data Survey and Analysis 2021. It is the maiden report of the Energy Data Management Unit on the Bureau of Energy Efficiency. Uh, Key highlights are so this Energy Data Survey and Analysis was released by the Bureau of Energy Efficiency. According to it, the total estimated reserves of coal are this much. Okay, this much million tons. And crude oil production has been declined and LPG production has been grown. Okay, India exported nearly 26% of the domestic production of the diesel, while this share increased to 30%. Okay, so like if we quickly move into what are the topics that we have covered so far, I've covered uh, polity and governance, international relations, and economy. Okay, the rest remaining are security, environment, social issues, science and technology, culture. Okay, I'll cover these in another video. Okay, okay then. Thank you.